What's up? Welcome back to Ando Works. So I've laid out all the original parts here which are going to go back on the car until replaced with something better, except for some of the brake parts aren't here. Everything's been cleaned up and given a fresh coat of paint, ready to go back onto the car with all the new parts. I've also been through the whole underside of the car, cleaned everything, made sure it's protected where it needs to be, and fixed a few oil leaks and things like that. Also, I got my first box of parts from Techno Toy Tuning. So these guys I think are out of San Francisco. And in this box I've got their high clearance 240Z outer tie rod end, two of those, and the ends for them, and also the inner tie rod ends, as well as the total prothane bushing kit for the 240Z. So this is basically every single bushing that you need for the Z, and the sleeves as well, which look like they're zinc coated. So the point in prothane bushings is as you increase the grip of the car through tyres or mechanical, through suspension components or whatever, old rubber bushings, which I've got, for example this one here, which is off the sway bar, which is perished and old and it gets quite soft. As you corner with more grip, there's more force on the suspension components. As a result, these will deform and the geometry of the suspension will change, and in turn will decrease your grip or that kind of planted feeling you get with the car, as well as how the car responds to the inputs. By going to these ones here, which are a lot firmer, you reduce that deflection that you get in your suspension joints, so your suspension geometry stays more true. Because these bushings also act to isolate the cabin from noise and vibration, adding a stiffer bushing, you're going to feel more vibration and harshness. That is something that I had to decide whether I was going to go to a prothane bushing or not, but I think it is worth it for this car. It is a sports car and I do intend to use it for more spirited driving on the track and on the street. I think it's worth going to these. Maybe for the engine mounts I'll stay with rubber ones. But with the new bushings, the new tie rod ends, I'm also getting ball joints, wheel bearings, everything like that. The whole suspension of the car should feel so much better than it was, along with the obviously new coilovers. And a few of the suspension components, like this rear lower control arm, the front lower control arm, and the mustache bar, or the differential mount, have the bushings which are actually pressed into them. So I'll need to press out these old ones and press the new ones in. So yeah, I think that'll be the first job, pressing out these bushings and pressing in the new ones. Okay, so I managed to get the bushings out of the front lower control arms, the mustache bar or diff mount, and I just started getting them out of the rear lower control arms, but I've run out of time for today, so I'll have to come back in hopefully tomorrow and just continue on. Alright, I'm back today and I got a new box. This is box number 2 of 3. The next one should be arriving tomorrow hopefully. So in this one, this is from Z Car Depot, also in the States. I've got the engine plate that goes between the engine and the transmission. I've got 2 new ball joints, 4 new wheel bearings, and I also got a new fuel tank level sender, so hopefully this will fix the problem for my fuel gauge not working. So yeah, the new bushings should all just be able to be hand pressed into these here, and then they should easily slip onto all the other parts. These ones might require like a little bit of a push with a rubber mallet or something like that. They supply some grease and you apply that grease to the outside of the urethane bushings, or any point where that urethane bushing is going to contact metal. So yeah, I'll get straight into that, putting all the bushings in place, and I'll also bang the new ball joints into the front lower control arms, and then start chucking things back on the car. Alright, it's actually the next day now, but I finally got this box from Motorsport Auto, or the Z store. They're also out of the States, so this is my third box and final box, which is mostly the manual swap parts, so we'll be able to get going with that soon. It's taken 3 months to get this box. Inside, Nissan clutch master cylinder, clutch slave cylinder, some clutch line, steering rack boots, which we'll use in a moment, rear main seal, some new spindle pins for where the rear lower control arms connect to the strut, and the hardware for those, rubber inner shift boot, leather outer shift boot, some clips to hold all that together. Got some of these Stop Tech Posi Quiet brake pads. I've got a roller spigot bush, flywheel bolts, and of course the actual flywheel. So this flywheel, although it was sent from the States, is actually Kamiari, or Kamiari, however you say it. Kamiari Engine Works. It's a Japanese company. This is a chromoly street flywheel, so it's a little bit lighter than a standard flywheel. So yeah, should help with the engine response, make it a bit free revving, but not be so light that it's a mission to just drive around town and things like that. And Japanese steel, so good quality part. I've also got my clutch and stuff, but we'll go through all this stuff in the first manual swap video, which will be the next one after this, I think. I also got sent this, which is a new Ernest Squire workshop apron. Usually in my videos I wear the Ernest hardened overalls, which are perfect and just like bulletproof, indestructible, and they're great for lying under the car and doing the more dirty jobs, but this will be ideal for what we're about to do. Some more light bench work, or I guess fabrication stuff. So today's job is going to be installing the Techno Toy Tuning inner and outer tie rod ends onto my steering rack, as well as with the new shift boots. These inner tie rod ends are super beefy, as well as the outer ones, so I really shouldn't need to ever replace either of these parts, or not for a long time anyway. Should be nice. The outer tie rod ends are the high clearance ones, so I guess if the car ever had more steering angle or wider wheels, which probably will, shouldn't have any issues with these. I also saw on the Mighty Car Mods, when they installed these, they said that they were adjustable to remove or reduce bump steer. I'm not quite sure exactly if they are yet, but we'll see, I guess. So yeah, might as well get into it. Alright, I've never actually done one of these before, so I'll figure it out as I go. First thing I've got to do is remove the outer tie rod ends. I want to take some measurements quickly to make sure when I put it back together that it's roughly the same kind of length between here. So when I put it back together on the car, I'm ballpark in the right spot with my the toe in or toe out on the car, so the alignment's not too far out. I do want to make some toe plates so I can kind of do my own quick alignments on the car, and then obviously go get it checked by someone with a laser thingamajig. Oh, new. Okay, so inner and outer tie rod ends are on, adjusted to approximately the right space, and the new rubber boots are on as well. From the prothane bushing kit, I've got one of them on. The other one's a bit difficult, so I'm gonna try that when it's in the car and use the mount to press it in, if that makes any sense. And then I'll put these end links on when it's in the car. But yeah, with the new bushings, the new tie rod ends and everything, it should feel really good, so look forward to driving it again. Anyway, I'll bang it in the car. Bang it, struggle to fit it in. Alright, that was a mission. Let me just show you what I did. Alright, so everything's basically back together now. I'll just show you from the back to front. I've got the rear lower control arms back in. Inner and outer bushings are replaced. Diff mount with the bushings replaced on that. The diff's back in and it's all sealed up. It's not filled with oil yet, but I'll get to that soon. At the front, got sway bar mount bushing and the end links. The steering rack has had a big refresh with the outer tie rod ends and inner tie rod ends from T3, as well as new rubber boots. Got new ball joints on the lower control arms, as well as bushes, and the tension rod here, or toe control arm, whatever it's called, has got new bushings on it, as well as the steering coupler, which you can see up there on the steering shaft. I've also got new rear spindle pins which go between where the rear lower control arm connects to the strut, and I've got all new wheel bearings and a few other things like that, so when the coilovers do come I'll be able to put those parts on as well, and that will kind of complete the suspension refresh for this car. I've left some things just kind of finger tight at the moment because when the car's put back on the ground it'll need an alignment, but everything should be re-torqued under the weight of the car, so there's no preload on the bushings. But yeah, with all those new parts, looking forward to driving it because it should be super tight now and feel real nice. So the only bushings I didn't use was the ones for different size sway bars, the trans cross member, which I probably will use these when the gearbox goes in, as well as tie rod end boots, because I'm using the T3 ones which don't have like a greased ball joint. I don't really need these. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video of the suspension refresh. I've got everything I need now to start on the manual swap, so that'll be starting in the next video. Also, big thanks to the guys at Ernest for sending the Squire apron. Really appreciate that. And it's super nice quality. It's even got in the phone pocket like a soft rubber material to protect the screen of your phone. If you guys are after some good quality workwear from an Australian, New Zealand owned company, recommend going and check them out. I think they've even got free shipping on orders this week. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Make the monitors melt, make the monitors melt, make the